All right, and it looks like we are live. All right, sorry about the little bit of a delay tonight. I'll be perfectly blunt. I had to hurry up and down a couple shots of espresso and eat some chicken nuggets because I am literally running on 2 hours sleep. I don't know why. Last night, my body was just like, I don't want to sleep tonight, and yep, there's that. So, insomnia is so much fun.
hmm
But no, it's not because I'm sitting around playing all the fun games we got and also watching all the entertaining banter that we constantly see taking place all over the discourse of the internet. No, no. Um, I think about dumb shit like stuff, projects I got to get done at work. So tonight, let's get the distraction going on and let's talk about gaming. Let's roll this thing out. So, what's up, Blue? Thank you for joining us, good sir. It's always great to have you here. And welcome to my cohort, Mickey. How you doing, bud? What you been playing?
I'm all right. I've been playing Diablo 4. I have been playing the absolute snot out of Diablo 4. And it's been fun. Their season 4 is actually really fun and enjoyable. So I've been playing the hell out of it.
Everybody, yes, I did say chicken nuggets. Yes. You are never too old for chicken nuggets. I don't care who you are.
That's right.
And also to really throw some more food for thought out there, I have never played Diablo 4 yet. And the internet just broke.
Tisk tisk.
I know. No, I'm sorry. I already went back in completely to Elder Scrolls Online with the Gold Road getting ready to come out. I think it's like the 16th. I'm trying to finish off the last expansion with Necrom, and I'm pretty close. I did a vast, but I already did almost all the side quests. Like I already got the in-game achievement for doing a large portion of the side quests already. Now I'm just grinding out the main quest, and I think I've only got 3 or 4 missions left to the actual main story. But you know, Mickey here knows Elder Scrolls. For those who don't, um, a main story quest could last anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, depending on just how in depth the quest is. So when I say there's 3 or 4 main quests still left, there's that means there's easily probably another 2-3 hours of gameplay still there. So it's just not like some quests that you're just gonna grind out very quickly.
Yeah, and usually you have to do a lot of traveling for it too, which kind of takes up a bit of that time too. So yeah, he's right.
But and then once you
Great game, by the way. Great game, by the way, guys. Great game.
and yeah, and once you're done with the main quests and you actually finish Necrom, then you got to do the Gold Road prologue, which is in itself like a 2 hour, like anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours of like story that sets up the expansion. And then that's where, if you could hop into matchmaking and play the dungeons that are a little bit with the story, but you're essentially in a holding pattern until Gold Road comes out.
Yeah.
But
And if you don't know Phil does everything. So he does the side quests and the regular quests now, but when Phil plays a game like that, especially, he's a completion
oh yes,
magician. He completes everything. Everything.
Whenever Mickey joins me in Elder Scrolls Online, it turns into, hey, what trials have you not done yet, and what public dungeons have you not done, and we'll just start dragging you through them all.
That's also why he has a 1200 character, and I've only got a 300.
I'm actually not. I wish it was 1200, but I am on the precipice.
Mm-hmm. I know you're close.
997.
Oh, I thought you were over 1,000.
Nope, I am on the precipice of 1,000. I have been working on that for a hot minute. I know there's people with higher scores, but I am on the precipice of a level 1000 character.
Nice.
For me, the minute I hit 1,000, I'm like, yep, I'm there. I'm not going to be one of those that are like, I got to be a $2,000. Like the guys that play in the PvP area that grind out a lot of XP, those guys are in the 2000s.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let's just get right into it. So for those that don't know how things work here in the desert, we are officially approaching that time of year, which is essentially like our winter time. So when you guys go indoors and you hide inside with your heaters on and you're getting dumped with just inches and inches of snow and, hell has frozen over outside, you guys generally don't go outside. Totally understand that. Well, now here in Arizona, at least here in Phoenix, we're on the cusp of tomorrow will be 114 degrees. It'll be the first day of 2024 where we punch over 110 degrees. And we are officially now in our stretch where we will literally hide indoors from June, July, August. And if you're lucky, maybe start poking your head out the door in September. And my psychotic ass decided to move at the end of July and the beginning of August. So in the middle of all the heat, I'm moving and I over here gotta
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you, Phil.
I'm gonna probably have to Easter egg Xbox gift cards around the house to be like, hey Mickey, there's this card in the couch if you help me move it. By the way, did I mention we're moving out of the second story of an apartment complex to the third story of a new one?
Again, thank you.
Oh my God. Let me know if I got to find some strapping young lads at a moving company.
By the way, I've already signed up for this misery.
Oh my! I've already got one guy at work too that asked me for a favor. He's like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" I was like, "I'll do you a favor. You do me a favor. What do you need? You need to help me move."
That's funny.
But enough about that. So while we're indoors, we're always playing games, and let's talk about a game that just got released, Hypercharge Unboxed. I know, we're going down a rabbit hole tonight, especially with just how stupid the internet can get. We have watched already some discourse take place with Hypercharge. Apparently, selling 25,000 copies of a game is something to balk at, like you suck kind of material. And I believe I just love how some of the guys got on this. Some people went on the internet and hammered this guy like your game sucks, blah, blah, blah. And I really loved how one guy just blatantly kind of set all the haters in their place and was like, hey, while you're at home sitting on your ass, achieving nothing but bitching on the internet, this dude and his friends went out and literally grabbed a hold of their dreams and decided to achieve something and to put it out there. So the developer for Hypercharge came out and put a tweet out the other day just to kind of rub it in the face of everybody. I left school at 15, no grades or confidence, devoting 14 years to our family's painting and decorating business. In 2020, I switched to designing and marketing games. Now in 2024, our action figure game has launched on Xbox and is going viral. Power your dreams. It's true. #Xbox. Dude, what more do you need motivation to just get off your ass and go do whatever it is that appeals to you? I don't care if that means you enjoy taking photos of flowers or going down to the local freaking animal shelter and just helping, adopt out animals or building your own business. The point is, if there is something that appeals to you in life, don't berate people that go out and actually achieve it. And you're basically a bitter bastard on the internet that just wants to, that misery wants company. And
Wants to
so
create a toxicity. Yeah.
I know, right? So that's where, like, well, we'll have to Octopath 2. I need to play the first Octopath Faded Blaze. And by the way, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna be up front. Maybe I'm a little bit. Maybe I got my pinky out. And I'm sorry if I do. I need to get more involved into like 2-dimensional style games. And are we talking like, if we're like talking like the sequel to Octopath Traveler? So I know those games are supposed to be very well done, and I guess I just need to get out of my little prissy champagne tasting, mentality that I got, and I really do need to start playing some 2-dimensional games. Like I've got the Prince of Persia game, the new one that just came out, and I need to really get into that one. And I know it's not exactly 2D like Octopath Traveler, but it's like one of those things where I keep just gravitating towards these big blockbuster games like I'm some freaking casual.
So I purchased the OG Contra and Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Just recently?
Yes, off the because they're on the 360.
Ooh.
Oh man.
See, I know what Contra
just
is.
Throwbacks.
Yeah, that right there, everybody. That actually shocks me because I had no idea Mickey was into stuff like that. But Faded Blaze, you're right. Hypercharge looks actually fun, and it is actually fun. So like real quick, there is a story to it. I have played multiplayer games that have a small handful of maps. Hypercharge actually has a decent amount of maps for starters, anywhere from a bedroom to a bathroom to the top of an air hockey table inside a bar, a closet. It's like sky's the limit, especially with the fact that you're technically an action figure. And by the way Hypercharge's story unfolds is so you have Major Ammo, and what's the main protagonist? I forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
So essentially, let's put it this way. We all know about the toys that we would play with growing up, and you had the toys that you would leave in the box. You're like, nope, I ain't opening this thing. He's a collector's item. Yeah, us moves to save their business. So, like, it's kind of funny. So the way Hypercharge is you have the toy that you play with all the damn time, the one that gets the most use, and that one is Major Ammo. And Major Ammo has his nemesis, who happens to be a toy that was left in the box because he was a collector's item, and he felt like he was abandoned. Nobody wanted to play with him. And so over time, his hatred, he basically started mutilating himself, turning himself into some hideous looking action figure because he didn't want people to want to preserve him. And he became so full of hate, kind of like today's outrageous warrior on Twitter. Interesting. But anyways, so apparently there's these magical items called the hypercores that appear throughout your household and wherever you play with these toys most commonly. And apparently they give the toys their power to have life. It's your job to protect these hypercores from other toys that the main protagonist has turned into wanting to destroy the hypercores, because he wants all the hypercores destroyed. He doesn't want essentially, if nobody wants to play with him, he doesn't want anybody but he played with at all. God, this sounds actually, for a person that doesn't know what's going on, they're probably like, what is this guy talking about? But what makes it fun is You have all these traps you can build around the hypercores to defend them. Glue traps, machine gun turrets, spike traps, fire traps, mines. You can
That we've found so far.
That we have found so far. There's
Right.
multiple different characters that you can buy. I've
Mhm.
seen images online of somebody flying around in a jetpack. I need to find that upgrade because damn, there is a lot of collectibles in this game. Just all sorts of secret areas, and there's always something to be doing, whether you're always building up your defenses or going around collecting credits, looking for collectibles, or doing some of the challenges that take place in each map. It's absolute fun, especially when you play with friends. Me and Mickey have been playing a lot together. I'm going to put it out there right now that it really stinks that this game was not put in Game Pass. I don't know if dude passed on it. I don't know if Xbox didn't invite him to it. I do really feel that obviously there'd be a lot more people probably checking it out. But that's what never, but also at the same time, I stand by, don't wait for something to come to Game Pass. This game is $30 and it is well worth the $30. There is, yes, Small Soldiers, exactly, Faded Blaze. It reminded me exactly like Small Soldiers. And that's what made me fall in love with this game when I saw it. And the game is fun. There is more character types. Like the other night, me and Mickey were shooting at My Little Pony. You almost felt guilty. Like this thing is just flying around on a cloud, making like little musical chimes, and you're just pelting at it. You have boss fights from like giant robotic toys that you got to bring down. You'll have cargo planes filled with little green army men, and they're airdropping in. There is always something going on in that game. Or the other night when we're fighting like bouncy balls and we're literally screaming, there's balls everywhere. But no,
you can also you can actually also free roam to try to find the hidden stuff in that game too.
But yeah, so Mickey, go on, take the floor, man. Talk about it, customization, all that stuff like you were talking about last night.
That's the cool thing is, like he said, there's multiple characters, which we haven't unlocked them all, but I think we've unlocked one of them so far. But there's
for how much time we've only unlocked 3 or 4, and there's a lot of characters.
I don't know. I think I've only unlocked one, but we've unlocked custom things from the other characters that we haven't gotten yet. Like the pieces for that bear, we haven't unlocked him yet, but there's things that we've gotten for him.
I thought we just unlocked Barry.
I don't know, because when I went into it, I didn't see he wasn't unlocked for me.
Oh, maybe it was just a skin then.
I'll have to check though when next time we play. But customizing the characters, they've got a ton of customizable. They got helmets. You can change the color. They've got other gear, the color of the guns. So that's really cool. The game is fun. It's a basic game, but it's they went outside the box, as far as designing a game like that, and it's really cool. And I hope they continue to add more to it. Because one thing I've noticed is that in that game, I desperately want to throw a grenade, and they don't have grenades.
Every time,
dude, I want a left bumper, throw a grenade, and it doesn't happen. So,
dude, there's so many times where you just look over and there's like 8 little green army men stacked up on each other, and you're just sitting there like, if I only had a frag right now.
That's right.
Tear you
up. But that game, it's cool looking. It's fun. Like he said, there's collectibles and things. You do have to go search and you have to go find, but I mean that's the good part of it. It's not stuff that you can just freely get to. You have to figure stuff out, and it's a fun game. Me and Phil, we've been enjoying it, and it's they did a good job on it. I mean, they really did a good job, designing the rooms, and we haven't even touched the the corner of how many rooms and stuff they've got. I think we've
Yeah,
done
we haven't done
how
all the
many, Phil?
maps
Like
yet.
four. We've done like five or something like that.
Name
5 or
one
6.
multiplayer game. Name one multiplayer game where you can already dump in like 6-8 hours and you still haven't played all the maps.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that game's cool, and I definitely suggest it to folks that haven't played it to give it a try because it's fun.
Yeah, like let's look at like, dude, like Call of Duty and other ones where you have like a small handful of maps and you're paying like $70 and you have to like spend all this money to unlock, like you have to spend real life money to unlock stuff, where
Mm-hmm.
Hypercharge is $30 and there is no store, there's no in-game currency that you can purchase. It's literally
It's all unlockable.
do the challenges, find
Mm-hmm.
the collectibles, and you will unlock customization. It's like
Also,
literally a breath of old school fresh air.
mm-hmm. And also they do have PvP too, if that would be something that you're interested in. But we don't do PvP because we're just not interested in that part. So, but they do have it available.
Well,
If you wanted to do something like that.
maybe we haven't done PvP yet, but yeah, me and Mickey, we live the married life. We're actually a little bit under restriction with PvP modes because like
I already cuss enough as it is. I don't want to
yeah,
cuss. I don't want to
my
take it
wife,
to.
like, dude, I still remember the days with Rainbow Six Siege, and Rainbow Six Siege is what wore my wife out on PvP modes because of just how aggressive everything would get.
Yeah, I think our wives probably heard cuss words that they've never ever heard before when we played Siege. So
Yeah, Faded Blaze, there is so many unlockable, like it's insane. Like when you go in there and you see all the challenge, and when we say challenges, it's not like hey, shank 50 army men in the back of the head with your fist or something. Like it's literally you got to climb to the top of this one freaking shelf and you got to somehow leap on top of the handle of a fire extinguisher to vent the fire extinguisher. Or one challenge is saving the environment by finding the power switch on the back of the computer and turning the computer off. In the bar scene with all the when you're playing on top of the air hockey table, you have to jump from the air hockey table to one of the bar tables, pick up the dart. You got to build this jump pad to jump back to the air hockey table, and you got to take the dart and look around for the dart board, and you got to chuck the dart and hit the dart board and get that challenge. It's just little simple fun stuff like that. So, and then like Mickey was saying, told a bunch of different colors and color customization for your gear. There is some matching stuff for your characters. Characters actually do have throwbacks. Like last night, we unlocked one for. He's like one of the first characters that you unlock in the game. He's like one of the like when you first start the game, you have access to like 3 or 4 different characters. And at first, this guy looks like the old school GI Joe. But as you get unlockables, you can actually make this character almost look like a Star Wars stormtrooper. And
yeah,
yeah,
we unlocked that helmet. That's true.
you can tell these guys took inspiration from toys that we all grew up on and loved as kids, and you're able to essentially just kind of recreate some of the characters you grew up on.
Yeah, it's a good game.
So definitely all the way, if you have a chance to check out Hypercharge and you've been kind of like on the fence thinking about it, it's definitely well worth the money picking it up at full price. But again, we don't tell you what to do with your money. If money's tight, and you're just waiting for it to waiting for it to go on sale. Too many syllables. Definitely, I'm just gonna say you won't be disappointed for whatever price you pick it up at. Me
Yeah.
and Mickey went in for the all. I think we picked in the all in edition, which was $40.
Mm-hmm.
But that was because I wanted some of the character skins that were already part of that edition.
Yeah.
So, all right. We all promised everybody, but I'm going to also put it out there. Mickey fell asleep on me last Thursday for the for the PlayStation State of Play. So I ended up watching it with Blue. Blue had already seen it, so while Blue was, I believe, watching Crunchyroll or maybe even playing Diablo 4, I'm in the background watching the State of Play. So we're gonna go like that. Mickey watched it after me. Now let's just put it this way. This is Mickey's first season of watching these shows as they come out and not picking them up on the replay in like an article on IGN or your favorite gaming media website. Hey, what's up, Arnie? Thank you for coming in and checking everything out. And Rogue, you are cracking everybody up with State of Snooze. Boss Red, thank you for coming in and checking everything out. We appreciate every single one of you coming in and joining the fun.
Thank you.
Let's see, Faded Blaze. The hardest challenge I remember doing was Gears of War 3 Guardian mode when you got 10 kills as the leader for the Ivory Skin. See, that's what I mean. Like, that is like old school gaming. Like, I remember when you would do the achievements just to unlock the skins that appealed to you most. It actually, like, wow, okay, I don't know what the hell my character's doing on the screen. He's what is going on here, Mickey? Dude, the gameplay, my character's running into the wall. So apparently, I don't know what that was about. Maybe I set my controller down or something when I did that. I don't know. Okay, hold on. Sorry, people. I don't know what that's about. We're going to. Okay. Yep, we're gonna go to that one. Okay. Enough watching. I think I know what happened there. I'm probably like every damn other fucking gamer. You probably know what happened too. Let's be blunt. Somebody probably fell asleep with their thumb on the fucking stick. Oh God. Anyways, but there's a reason why we put this Guardians of the Galaxy on the screen. We'll get to it here now. He's waxing the wall with his face. Oh my God. I'm sorry, everybody. Oh my gosh, there we go. You're like, yeah, you had to be like, yeah, we're just switching the video. All right. So, anyways, everybody, not gonna get much gaming media from IGN is buying everything. That'd be a dark day in hell right there if IGN, dude. Hey, here's a scary thought. What would you rather have? Consolidation in consolidation in gaming or consolidation in gaming media? Because it's already trash out there in gaming media.
Yeah, definitely gaming, because
we
don't need the media. We don't need the gaming media.
But yeah, we don't need the gaming media, but it's already, I'm saying right now, consolidation in gaming media probably seems scarier, because that means it's just really going to start becoming like, we already remembered when IGN was like, oh, you're not going to give us a review code for Suicide Squad? Oh, we're going to tank your game. Yeah, we could go down, you know, we'll have that discussion here in a second about. So, State of Play, I'm going to be one of those that I'm going to be absolutely blunt with everybody. If you thought that they were going to come out and drop some, this is like, I hope to God some PlayStation guys see this, cap me, go tell your friends, and you know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that like to throw on the headbands and stuff and act like they're their favorite game character watching the fucking show. Like, I'm just like, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, I have never cosplayed to watch a gaming stage event. Don't get me wrong. If anybody who's been on my channel, you know damn well I'll dress up in a Halloween costume and do a spoof video real freaking quick as a dude named Fanboy. But I have never got like all freaking hussied up in like my favorite video game character just to watch the stage event. I don't know, Mickey, is that what's going to happen when you come over Sunday? Like,
maybe.
You know, we could totally freak out both our wives. Like, we won't even tell them. You just walk out to, you could just walk out to your ride and your wife would be like, "What are you wearing?" "Oh, me and Phil dressed up like Gears of War. We wore our favorite Gears of War pajamas." So,
I'm gonna,
our wives would probably abandon us. They'd probably go, so they're like, "Yeah, you guys have fun with whatever you're doing."
I'm gonna, I'm gonna, just as a joke, dress up in like a leather BDSM outfit.
Oh
Tiff's gonna
God.
be like, "Why did you walk out? Why are you going like that?" I'm gonna be like, "I don't know. Phil asked me to. I don't know what the problem is." She's gonna be like calling you. Did you tell me? No.
No, I would have her FaceTime me as fanboy. So I'm all dressed up in the freaking the like looks like the purge is getting ready to go down. Yeah, I told him to dress like that. What?
Go over there, and your wife's gonna be like, "What is going on?" I'm gonna be like, "Well, Phil told me to dress like this." She's gonna look at you and be like, "What the hell did you do?"
So, right? So no, Faded Blaze, you're absolutely right. So here it is. I have been preaching this for a minute. You guys can go check the receipts on my freaking channel. I got to start making content again because apparently people have not been listening. PlayStation's in a little bit of an identity crisis. And that crisis is they realize that they have not spent any money on multiplayer games. So Xbox is like, I'm going to tell you right now, just because you can make a single player experience with a third person perspective, which is cinematically driven, pushing some boxes around, throwing an axe, shooting at clickers, or hunting freaking robotic freaking dinosaurs. I'm just saying that there is a very common formula to your games. And that's all you're known for. And regretfully, that's all you can freaking do. That means you're not a very good, if you literally, it's called painting yourself into a corner. And that is exactly what PlayStation did. All the gaming media, and this is not me trying to fanboy at all. This is me being a consumer because I saw right through it. I have a PlayStation. I enjoy their single player experiences, but their single player experiences are literally the same damn shit, just with different paint jobs. So they realized real quick that they did not do what Xbox did and have a diverse catalog of different experiences for people to gravitate to, which is why Xbox has a much heavier multiplayer centric fan base. PlayStation was able to get a little inkling of that, a little taste of it with Helldivers 2. So, and that's why I have been warning people for the longest time now that they are going to spend a god awful amount of money on trying to craft all these different multiplayer experiences, games as a service, and they're going to throw every single one of them at the wall like a damn jar full of pickles, and they're going to see which ones stick. And the ones that really do good, they're going to put more money into it and pump more time and development into them because they need to somehow wean their ecosystem off of Call of Duty. Because literally, if you guys didn't see it, we'll get into it here shortly, but Call of Duty, out of all the people that play Call of Duty, 48% of them are still on the PlayStation 4. That's a large amount of people that are not only playing on one console, but also an outdated console. It's absolutely insane, which is why...
Wait a second, I've got a PS4.
I know, but no, it's the reason why. It's like everybody's like, oh, well, like this console holds back, the Xbox Series S holds this back and this holds that back. No, your consumer base holds back technology because nobody is going to try to leave that much money on the table. Yeah, it's not just, no, you're right. It's not just an identity crisis. They lost the Call of Duty money. But that's where that's where I loved watching all the videos that popped up on the internet. Because yes, you like Rogue, yes, they're having more PC ports. Why? So here's a difference between a console gamer and a PC gamer. The minute PlayStation does something wrong where they try to enact a policy of, hey, you got to give us, you got to sign up for a PSN account and you got to sign into it. And all, like what we saw with Helldivers 2, the PC community came together and they literally grabbed PlayStation by the throat and they basically showed them real quick. Like, I'm going to say it right now. The PC community came out with that math equation of if you fuck around, you find out. And PlayStation found out real quick on how the PC community can rally very quickly. But let's talk about now. That's the piece. Now the PC community rallied over implementation of having to sign into the PlayStation Network, and also the PlayStation Network not being available in certain regions. And like we saw how because of this PlayStation like network little shenanigans are playing, it's also affecting where their games are going to show up in certain regions now. I think we saw that with Ghost of Tsushima. So that's where let's talk about what the PlayStation gamers got up in arms over. I can't like God, I hate saying it like this, but the Stellar Blade situation of they promised me this woman would be more naked than she really is, and I want my naked woman back. And these guys literally started canceling PlayStation Plus subscriptions because their eye candy disappeared. So we could already see the priorities between the two consumer bases. I did say that it definitely sets a standard for, you know, PlayStation fibbing, twisting truths like, hey, this game's going to be extremely sexually explicit. And by the way, we're going to censor the crap out of it when you guys aren't looking. That's definitely, I can understand why people felt a certain way about being lied to. But I'm going to tell you right now, I still have to laugh that nobody brought up, it was more over the fact that it would like, there is much more serious, heinous things going on in Sony when it comes to anti-consumer policies that I have never seen anybody get up in arms over like they did with Stellar Blade and the fact that she was not showing as much ass and cleavage as they wanted. So that to me, that's hilarious. But so for starters, when it comes to the PlayStation State of Play, what I was getting at is, yes, if you didn't see it coming, PlayStation is not going to be doing all these great and glorious single player experiences. They're actually going to be, you're going to see a lot of multiplayer stuff come out of their first party studios because they need all hands on deck making all these multiplayer experiences to find out which ones are going to work. And then I don't really know which. I already said that the blockbuster bangers that we're used to with Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, Last of Us, and the God of Wars, those are going to be few and far between, but those are also guaranteed blockbusters. You're not going to see as much innovation for single-player experiences and diversity for single-player experiences come out of Sony first-party studio. They're going to shovel a lot of that responsibility onto third-party developers, making deals for exclusives with third-party developers, or just outright more single-player experiences popping up on PlayStation from third-party developers. And that's where I had to laugh at all the reactions from people on the internet over the fact that the PlayStation State of Play was PC ports and multiplayer games. There was some VR stuff. I'm telling you right now, I'm still sitting back wondering if VR on the PlayStation is not going to be another PS Vita situation where that whole piece of hardware gets abandoned real quick and the only people that would be making content for it are third-party developers that don't want to see VR die, but it's going to be very few and far between. So rather than me rambling on, and Mickey's probably like, dude, get the F off the soapbox, bro. Let's start with you, Mickey, because I'm really happy about the fact that this is technically your first gaming showcase season where you're like tuning in live. So what did you think of the state of play? And let's be honest, what appealed to you as like, hey, that's cool? Like, was there anything that kind of moved the needle for you to make you want to fire up your PlayStation or start being a little bit more active in the PlayStation ecosystem? Because you're like me, you own multiple consoles.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it was a decent little showcase. Definitely not as expansive as the one Xbox one that I had seen. They just kind of talk a little bit, about certain games, and don't really go into a whole lot of explanation. But they had, there's a few games that I liked that looked really good. For the most part, most of those games I didn't really. I don't know if that I would really be interested in. Like you said, they talked about Ragnarok going to PC. That Concord game that looks very, very similar to Overwatch. Dynasty Warriors, never really played it. So, again, that's one of those games I'm not completely interested in. One game that really caught my eye, was that Infinity Nikki. I was like, look, playing Barbie, that looks really cool. And it looked very action-packed. By the way, I'm just joking. That's what it looked like was a Barbie game.
I was about to say, like, bro.
No.
I was about to say, like, actually, that's it right there. I want you to come over Sunday dressed like Infinity Nikki. I'll make you a deal. No. I'll even put my cat in a costume so that way you can have the cat next to you.
That's funny. No, I was just kidding. The Ballad of Antara actually looked really good. It looked really, to me, it looked kind of Elden Ringish, the way it was playing and stuff. That's what kind of looked like, but it looked good. They had that VR game Skydance Behemoth, which obviously I'm not really interested in. The Marvel Rivals, that one looked cool. Fighting game with the Marvel characters. That would be something that that I was interested in, but the main one that I'm really interested in, which is actually going to be should be coming to Xbox as well, is Path of Exile 2.
Yes.
Because it's very Diablo-esque. And as you know, I love Diablo games. So the first one was cool, but it was a lot. Like the skill points and stuff. Huge tree. Cool, but I don't know. It didn't. Chris was playing the snot out of it, but I was like, eh. But this one looks really good. From what I saw on it, so it looks more Diablo-esque, which obviously the game is developed by 2 former Diablo developers. So that's why. And then the other one would be Monster Hunter Wilds, which we know that'll end up coming to Xbox as well. But Silent Hill, not really interested in because never really played them and not really too big into the scary games, aside from, like the zombie games that we'd played, like, what's its face? Oh, gosh. What were the games that we played? The ones where you're, like, jumping off the buildings and stuff like that. What was that one?
Zombie game?
Yeah.
World War Z?
No. No, the one where you parkour.
Dying Light.
That one.
The minute you said parkour, I'm like, oh, parkour zombies, Dying Light.
Like, that one's cool. It's scary, like, at night, because you get chased and stuff. But regular scary games, I'm just not really into. So the main ones were like I'm interested in Monster Hunter Wilds, Path of Exile. I'm most certainly interested in, and then the Marvel Rivals. That one looks cool, but that one's I'm assuming is strictly Sony. So, but those are the ones that kind of caught my eye. The other ones, honestly, I don't know that I really have any interest in those ones though. But I mean, they had the ones that they pushed was Concord because they had kind of a big entry into that one. There was a few other games I think that they talked about a bit of, but it was I mean it was all right. It was kind of bland, but it is what it is. So I mean, I'm not gonna sit and I'm not gonna bust their balls on it, but it was definitely not as informational as like the last Xbox one that I saw. So I will say that.
Well, Blue, I'm glad you're here because I'm gonna steal something from Blue because he even says he can't wait for Path of Exile too. So
Yes.
I'm gonna steal something from Blue because of he said it in the chat, the party chat more than once, but he also did say it that night when I watched State of Play. The best games in that State of Play are actually multiplat, and they're going to be on Xbox.
That's fair.
And that's where,
fair.
you
That's
kind of
fair.
have to agree with that because we even talked about it like Path of Exile.
That's fair.
Monster Hunter Wilds didn't appeal to you at all?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, I didn't hear that one. Sorry.
I'm interested in that one as well.
I probably zombied out when you said Diablo 4, and I was like, no, but no. So yeah, definitely. I agree with you on Monster Hunter Wilds. The graphics on that looks absolutely like knucking futz stuff. Like, I mean, the graphics on that looks great. I know like PlayStation's trying to bank on Silent Hill 2, but I feel like, dude, I'm gonna be upfront. The Silent Hill movies went over like a lead balloon. And I know there's people out there that really enjoyed Silent Hill. It was supposed to be like another version of like Resident Evil or something like that. And I couldn't get into it. I played a couple of them. So I'm curious on, is this game going to really, turn some heads again? There is some stuff there that, I mean, I would probably pick it up on like a Black Friday sale. The one game you did talk about, like that Ballad of Antara, that's actually going to be a free to play. So generally, when you know a game is free to play, you kind of already know, you could already start coming to your own conclusion about what the gameplay loop is going to be a little bit. Where the winds meet. See, that's one thing that I do stand behind. I wish there was a lot more Eastern experiences on Xbox. That's one thing that PlayStation has had a really good job of doing. Not capping for either situation. I'm just saying that PlayStation has definitely got a good stranglehold on having more like Asian style games. Once again, we see obviously that PlayStation wants to remake games that aren't even that old, which still cracks me the F up. We're getting apparently they're enhancing Until Dawn. If this was a game on Xbox, let's be honest, if the game was enhanced, it would be a free freaking update that we would get to enhance the game we already owned. But over on the PlayStation side, we're going to enhance Until Dawn and charge you for it again. That one cracks me up. Hey,
that's
Boba
kind of
Fett.
crazy.
Boba Fett, Vlads, thank you for coming checking everything out. Let's see. Have you seen the new Valve third-person game called Deadlock? No, I have not. I will be honest. Me and Mickey are not exactly PC players per se. I'm going to tell you right now, and this is the honest to God truth. If Xbox was to ever have that situation where everybody, like, I mean, like, I don't think it's ever going to happen, but if something was to ever happen in my digital library, or there was going to be, like, if you had to be put into a situation where you were going to migrate to a new preferred platform, I'm pretty sure even Mickey might kind of second me on this. We would probably at that point get involved with a PC rig, because I I have enough technical know-how where I probably would not be the guy that would PC rig sitting up in this chair and being up in this monitor. I would probably make a PC rig that I could hook up to my TV, and at that point I would have access
and just
to
get a controller and just
dude. Yeah, you
like
can
a
buy
console.
dongles that you can, if like, dude, with PC, if you want to play on a PlayStation controller, go get a a PlayStation controller. If you want to play on an Xbox controller, a SCUF, what have you, you can attach anything to a PC with the right software and the proper USB dongle. We'll just put it that way. So if there was ever to be a migration for me to another platform, it would be to PC. And that's just because, like, there is some stuff on there that does appeal to me. So Until Dawn remaster has new features like different camera angles. Yes. I'm gonna spend double the money, because when I first played the game, I really wished I could see the other side of her face. But that game to have the best potential to me despite being free to play. There was some stuff on there. But I guess, okay, for starters, there's two, excuse the, I like stealing references from wrestling, and we're going to go to Jim Ross here. Or yeah, I believe that's what his name, Jim Ross, the guy that was like wore the black cowboy hat that was always like the Stone Cold era. You know the guy I'm talking about, right, Mickey?
Yep.
Okay. And we're gonna there was two games that were like a fart in church. We're gonna start with the first one, Astrobot. Very pretty looking game. And yes, Astrobot is always used to hype up. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, Mickey, you go buy a PlayStation 5, you're gonna get Astrobot probably free of charge. It's always in the background. And Astrobot is basically shows you, it takes you on like a tour of the PlayStation 5, all the way to their absolutely groundbreaking SSD NVMe hard drive where nothing would be possible without it. That's a little
Is that that
joke.
robot that was the last
Yes.
thing, the last showing on the PlayStation? Okay, I got you.
Astrobot, for me, when I played it when I got my PlayStation 5, was it showed all the features of the controller, including giving it a blowjob. So, Mickey, I didn't know if you know this about the PlayStation. Mickey, when you come over Sunday, I will fire up my PlayStation 5 so you can try this. I don't know if you knew this, but there's actually a hole through the controller through the PlayStation 5. You can blow into this hole, and it's actually an input. So, like, when you play when you play Astrobot, like, he's holding up like a little, like, those little windmill things that are on a stick when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you blow in your controller and it spins.
Oh, that's definitely interesting.
Some people are claiming, they're like, the reveal of the PS5 Pro was in Astrobot. We saw the PS5 Pro in Astrobot. Even I kind of was like, dude, people are going to be watching this Astrobot trailer like it is Phil Spencer's freaking bookshelf. They are going to be looking for secrets in this damn game. And it already happened. The PS5 Pro is in the trailer, man. So, and that's where the one thing that cracked me the F up is, I think it was even a Windows Central article that made me kind of just turn my head and be like, are we serious right now? Are we serious? Is this really going down? Let me see if I can find it because I don't want to like blah blah blah. Days Gone. Yeah, yep. Windows Central. Here it is. Astrobot is an incredible mascot for PlayStation, and I wish Xbox had the same. Are you telling me? Like, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna take 10 people in a room right now. And like that whole situation, your life depends on how you're gonna answer the next question. What is the first character you think of when you think PlayStation? I would be absolutely effing floored if I heard somebody say Astrobot. We know damn well. Let's be honest. The mascots for PlayStation are what? Kratos, God of War.
Just gonna say, yeah, God of War, right?
I forget Aloy, Horizon. I'm bad with names. The chick from The Last of Us. We could go down the road right now and talk of Spider-Man. Spider-Man would be one. He's a mascot. Can you please tell me how like people think that Astrobot is, especially on Windows Central, that Astrobot is the perfect mascot for PlayStation? And that Xbox needs to, like, I'm over here like, you know, if Xbox wanted to do that right now, like with Activision or some other IPs, I'm pretty sure they could be really childish. And yeah, we could have Spyro out there compared to Astrobot, Crash Bandicoot. Hell, we could even get the little quirky guys out of Psychonauts. But we know that our mascots are these characters like Halo, Master Chief from Halo, Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. Hell, the freaking the Maserati from Horizon. I mean, the Xbox has mascots. I'm just like over here like, man, that was like a far reach when I saw that article. So I would love it if they made Conker one of the mascots. Oh my God. If Conker was the mascot for Xbox, Angel, he'd be over here handing Astrobot a beer and an adult magazine. We'll just put it that way. Oh my gosh, dude. It's no secret that Phil Spencer is not a big fan of Conker. And I still think it's like, I mean, like, you know damn well in the workplace, there's got to be Conker jokes being made. Hey, we could always bring back Conker. No, we will not. Oh, man. But yeah, so let's talk about the big one, the big fart in church, the one that really got the internet boiling, Concord. I still loved what that one guy said, that one PlayStation fan, the guy that was dressed up like the guy from Metal Gear Solid. Why did PlayStation even buy this studio? Because I think, yeah, who made I think it was like Firewalk or something like that. Guys, tell me in the chat if I'm getting it wrong. Yeah, I know like they just picked up this studio, and Firewalk Studios. Yep. And I still remember why did PlayStation buy Firewalk? Because they want to be involved in games as a service. You didn't pick up on that when they bought Bungie? Yeah. So, but yeah, Concord. At first, when I saw this, Blue was right there with me. When I first saw this, I thought this game for a split second, was going to achieve something that Overwatch was not able to achieve, and that was an actual was a story. Overwatch was a lot of flash and dash, like, hey, this looks like it'd be a really cool story game. but it's not. I thought for 1 second that's where Concord was going to be. And then after the cinematic stopped and I realized that that cinematic was the exact same crap that that Blizzard did with Overwatch, where it's like, hey, we have this huge potential to create an experience that would be an absolute amazing story, but we're not going to do that. We're going to make you think there's a story there, and it's just going to be like what you get with Overwatch. And not only that, so it also, they had a little bit of sprinkling of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is why I have Guardians of the Galaxy playing on the screen right now. That's where I was just like, man, somebody saw Overwatch and they also probably like Guardians of the Galaxy. And they're like, what if we could blend these two games? And now, earlier, somebody put it in there, in the chat earlier, that there's a reason why all of a sudden Sony is becoming more like, they even made fun of Herman Hulst, saying like, I can't believe this guy was trying to tell, people to go out and buy a PlayStation to play their exclusive like multiplayer games, when they realize that their own like they already know now over at Sony that their console fan base is not going to consume their multiplayer experiences at all. That has been absolutely made apparent in Helldivers 2, which is where now we're going to see pretty much all of their multiplayer experiences come to PC day and date. And in my opinion, as long as Concord can hold up with how, I'm going to say it right now, they might be able on the PC side to capture some of the lost luster and fans from Overwatch. Because let's put it this way, the update, the going from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, they screwed the pooch. Like Mickey,
Disaster.
It was a disaster. Me and Mickey played the hell out of Overwatch 1.
Played
Overwatch,
the
yeah, as soon as we got into Overwatch 1.0, I mean, like, it wasn't even Overwatch 2. It was like Overwatch 1.5. Where,
yeah, it was.
Yeah, so that's where, oh, Vlads, I know. Concord probably will require PSN account linking. So the minute they already do that, like, yeah, and you're already, so gamers for 150 countries will not be able to buy it because of that very reason. It's like PlayStation has no effing clue on like how to do a proper multiplayer game. It's like, what could we do to make sure this game doesn't do as good as it can? Oh, let's have PSN accounts. So, but yeah, Concord at this point, the fans are not happy with Concord. The only hope that this game is going to have is on PC at this point. And it's like, I think as soon as they saw Concord, it officially set in when they were like, oh my God, like they really are wanting to do multiplayer games. Where's all my single player blockbuster experiences where I can throw an axe and push around a box? So yeah, and Faded Blaze, yeah, they're also saying, I get, according to Faded Blaze, that Concord is going to be $40. So, you know, that's interesting because for $40, it better be like it better be like Overwatch when it first came out, where you had access to like the full roster and you were able to play the game to get skins and stuff. It can't be $40 and like what we get today with Overwatch, where you have to like unlock characters and do all this. It's like Overwatch now is more punishing than when it first came out. So, but all right, let's move on to the next subject because, you know, I want to try to stay on schedule. We'll say that because we're officially an hour in. I generally want to stay on subjects for about 30 minutes or so. So let's talk about Call of Duty. No, excuse me. My bad. That's subject 4. Subject 3, this one will probably be, I don't want to say quick, but I'm curious to kind of take the temperature of the room on this one. And that's where we're getting, like, you'll see where we're going with this, at least where I'm wanting to go with this, because according to Colin Moriarty, the only people who touch this subject are either annoying as hell or ignorant, boisterous, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a big fan of Colin Moriarty. If this ever gets back to him, I would love to mental debate with you for however long you want. And trust me, like, he made the most outlandish claim the other day that more people are spending, PlayStation players are spending more money now than they were during the PS4 era. And like the PS4 era, like in it, and he's like, and the PlayStation 5 hasn't been around as long as the PS4 era has been around. And I still have to jokingly be like, dude, no kidding, they're spending more money. Back during the PS4 era, games cost $60 and inflation was also about 30% less. No shit. They're paying more. And it has nothing to do with the popularity of the damn console. It has everything to do with inflating the price of the products that are on said console.
That's a fair assessment.
So, yeah. Oh, Angel has a question. If you had to pick another console, if Xbox goes out of the console business, what will it be? It wouldn't be a console. I would build a PC. I would officially sit down and start building a damn PC. And that's when I would probably go full on in. And I would I would turn that PC into the ultimate entertainment machine, not only for video gaming, but for entertainment consumption, period. When it comes to like digital only movies and digital libraries of, like, I'm a physical movie collector, but there is some stuff that you can only find digitally. But I'm also one of those sycophants that also want to build a PC that's powerful enough that I can shove my like Stargate SG-1 collection into it and digitally remaster my own damn DVDs. There's the technology is out there. You just need to have a rig out there that's capable of digitally remastering stuff. And that's the whole premise, at least that's I want to go down if I was to get into a PC. And yeah, Faded Blaze, you're absolutely right. You're right too. COVID was a big reason that people spent a lot of money on gaming early into the beginning cycle of this generation. And that was because everybody had a asinine amount of money just handed to them, and they were stuck at home. So of course they were buying video games and and scarves and DLC and banana suits and all sorts of stuff for their game characters. Yep, exactly. Yeah, DVD Angel DVD ripper. Oh my gosh, I remember back in the day ripping DVDs. That was fun. So the premise of like what Colin Moriarty says that nobody wants to touch on is there is some issues going on in gaming right now. And that's where, in my opinion, the issues have gotten completely buck wild out of control. And speaking of issues, let's move over to, let's get that pause screen off. Okay. So here we go. Right now, let's take a good hard look at gaming. People have lost their damn minds. Toxicity is at an all-time high. Gaming has become politically fueled. We have people that are like far left extremists over here fighting far right extremists. And what I mean by left and right, I'm not talking like the typical political party shenanigans that go on in the United States. I'm just saying, take any argument in video games, whether it's inclusion, what console's better, what style of video game is better, AI versus no AI, this color is better than that color when it comes to like the color of the damn sky. Is it look prettier as baby blue, or does it look better as marching band blue? You know, I'm just talking like you have in any argument in gaming, you have one person on one side of the argument, that's an extremist, and the other person on the other side of the argument that is an extremist, and these two screaming at each other is essentially drowning out the real honest conversation and discourse between the level-headed logical people that I know exist, but it's the insane loud and proud few that are just drowning out any hope of having a logical conversation without having some person in the background screaming like a petulant child. So this is where we're going to pass the floor to Mickey real quick, because this is where I wanted to start off on this. I brought Mickey into podcasting with me because he is, like, we're joking about it tonight. This is going to be his first time watching an Xbox stage event live with me on Sunday. Last week was his first time actually watching a PlayStation State of Play, rather than reading about it in an article or even not caring at all. Mm-hmm. And so Mickey has had a huge disconnect from the insanity that can ensue on social media. I'm almost jealous of like Mickey's innocence when it comes to this, because I still remember back in 2018 when I first started listening to YouTube podcasts and poking around on social media, and I thought it was all gumdrops and lollipops. And now I just found out it's nothing but gang wars and all sorts of crazy stuff. Like, I mean,
seriously,
I did not know gaming could be this fucked up. Excuse my French. So
it's the truth.
Mickey, as somebody that doesn't participate in it, and when you went on Twitter for a short time, the only thing you use Twitter for now is Mickey's a Raiders fan, so he likes poking at like football teams, especially with some of the other people we joke around with, like with Blue. So if you go on Mickey's Twitter feed, it's all like football gifs and stuff like that. That's where Mickey, like, as somebody who is essentially the outsider looking in to somebody like me who has, I guess, entrenched himself and surrounded himself with the stupidity that takes place in the gaming culture, as an outsider for you, tell me, like, just be honest, man. Shoot from the hip. Tell me what you think, especially with some of the subjects that we've talked about recently and some of the discourse that you've witnessed on social media.
Well, basically the stuff that you've kind of presented to me, really, most of it's asinine. It's just crazy stuff, and just stuff that doesn't even need to be argued, but people just want to hear themselves and their opinions, or they want their opinions to be known, and some of them will have an opinion so loud that they'll appreciate the negative attention just because it gives them that attention. It's just so crazy, because gaming is, if you really look at it from the outside, to me, it's simple. It's just playing games and having fun. You obviously entrench yourself, in hearing the stories and things, and developers and people that complain about them and all that stuff. That's fine, but it's so crazy that they throw their hands up and scream and yell, and it's like, why do you do it? Why don't you just play the games? You can have an opinion like, I don't really like this game, or whatever. That's fine. I mean, that's a simple opinion. But when you have to just go on a blazing trail to, whether you're just annihilating the developer of a game that you don't like and just destroying the game, like those journalists do, and it's like, it's so crazy to me. To me, I'm going to play a game. I don't care if it's on Xbox. I don't care if it's on PlayStation. I don't care if it's on Nintendo. I don't care if Atari made another system. I would check it out. It's crazy. Just, my brain is like, I'm going to play a game. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I'm not going to sit here and rant about it for 2 hours about how bad it is and whatever. You know, we have a discontent towards Overwatch 2, right? But Overwatch 1 was fun. I am disappointed of what they did with Overwatch 2. I'm disappointed at the developers of what happened with Anthem. But I'm not going to go on a raging tear and just be a dick, really. I mean, I'm not going to do that. And just watching these people do stuff like that, it's so crazy. And I can't really wrap my brain around it because I guess just because I'm not, I'm just not entrenched in it. I want to play games. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I just won't play it. But it's gaming. Gaming's not supposed to be stressful. Gaming is actually supposed to help you unstress. At least that's what it does for me. When we play and, or when I play a game like Skyrim or something, I'm doing that to unstress, to enjoy myself. I'm not doing it to wrap my freaking brain into a stressful struggle of, oh my God, this game's so bad and the developers did so bad and drag it through the mud back and forth. I just don't understand. Gaming is supposed to be simple. And it's just not anymore because there are the journalists and that just, they want their opinion heard. If it's a company like IGN, they're, throwing their hands up in the air. Oh, this for us. So we're going to, whatever, like with the Justice League or with the, kill the Justice League. And I'm like, I just don't understand it. It's, to me, I do not understand it. Again, gaming is supposed to be fun. And these people, to be honest with you, some of these people make it unfun for folks because of what they do. And a lot of people take their opinion as food. And you really shouldn't. Just, if they're like destroying the game, go play it. You'd probably be surprised. Again, like the Suicide Squad game. They were, it wasn't getting, good reviews or whatever, and people weren't liking it. And I played it, and I was like, this game's amazing. I enjoyed it. I loved it. That's what you got to do is just to play the game. If you don't like it, which is one good thing about Game Pass, because you can play a game, a lot of games for free, and if you like it, you can pay for it. If not, just keep playing it for free. It's so simple to me, but clearly it's not simple to, these raging lunatics out there. I mean, to me, it's just simple. That's really my main point of it. If I'm going to enjoy it, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to unstress with gaming. I'm not going to listen to these knuckleheads fight and beat themselves up and throw their opinions around like it's, like it's the thing. I just don't. Gaming's supposed to be fun.
Yeah, dude, see, that's gaming is supposed to be fun, but it is turned into an absolute mess.
It has.
And I'm gonna tell you right
Really
now,
has.
um, look, what I'm about to say, I don't like talking about it. We know if you've watched my channel, I'm somebody that when I was much younger was, around the block. I'm not trying to act like I'm cool for my past or anything like that. I merely just try to use my past as an example of I'm gonna tell you right now, like God, I'm just gonna be blunt. This is part where like Colin Moriarty, only annoying people or dumbasses could talk about what I'm about to talk about. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get shoveled into this.
Stop.
So when you're part of the criminal justice system, race is actually something that you live and breathe, especially if you're put in prison. Some like thank God I never went to prison, but I know people that went to the prison system, and there you live and breathe racism. Racism is alive and well. It grows and propagates inside prison. But that's where right now where I work, there is people that are still on parole because the company I work for likes to rehabilitate people that are on parole, give them give them work experience and skills that they can use to like better themselves. And I'm going to be upfront. Some of these guys are Caucasian, other ones are African American. And they will get together and talk about how in the environment that they were in prison, they weren't allowed to be friends. They weren't. You stuck with your own little cliques, if you want to say it. We can all probably know where that's going. But now out here in the world, like in the free world, they even jokingly say about that. These guys get along great. And they actually you know, they're always joking along every single day. And yeah, in sitting down and chatting with them, they even talk about how like it's just messed up that in the environment that they're in, they're not allowed to even be friends. Um, and the sad part is that's the criminal justice system actually allows that to occur rather than trying to. It's for them, it's a way of actually controlling inside the system by having it to where not everybody gets along. That's a semantic thing right there. But that's where, so when I hear terms like get woke, go broke, or you're ticking a box, you're just trying to, be inclusive. This is just more of, I believe they call it like Gen Z shenanigans or the new age shenanigans from the younger generation. Um, I'm going to tell you right now, there is a large demographic of us that are just tired of the world is not as racist as it once was, but it still exists. And to try to act like it doesn't is kind of like putting on a blinder that you don't want to admit. There is things
It's ignorance. It's
and there's like
ignorance.
and this is where, and it goes both ways. It really does go both ways. We've got like right now we've got a developer that did Tales of Kinzra Zhao that definitely got a lot of targeted harassment for the game that he created. He created a game that was based on his African culture that really hit a story for him on losing his father. That's all this game was. He came out and put a video. It wasn't to tick a box. It wasn't trying to like grab on to the occlusionary way of the entertainment industry that we see in all forms of entertainment. He wasn't trying to do any of that. He was trying to just merely make a game that appealed to him both from his background as a human being and also life experiences that changed his life, like losing his father. I lost my father only about 2-3 years ago, so I know exactly what that man is going through. And that's where now, because people are trying to say that he's screaming harassment to get people to notice his game because it's failing, or they're trying to devalue what he's trying to say about his game by trying to say that he's just trying to tick a box or take advantage of a certain style of like, like what Sweet Baby Inc. does in gaming. And that's why I say it's happening on both sides. And that's where, like, when we have these intelligent conversations somewhere in the middle, Like, I, at one point, do not want to devalue what is happening when it comes to that. There is instances of where, yes, people of a darker complexion can have some targeted harassment. I literally, growing up as a kid, had a friend who got pulled over by the local police department walking down the street because like they literally told him, because he was of color, they told him he had to be careful walking around at night because he's hard to see. I was there for that. I actually got to see that in his eyes when literally I was like, you're really gonna pull me over and tell me to be careful like that? Like, it's like that stuff happens. And yeah, there's other instances where it swings the other pendulum, where you saw like Sweet Baby Inc. with Alan Wake 2 tell them to fire a Caucasian actor and go with an African American actor. And it's like, okay, that's not cool because they already hired somebody. You're just, that's ticking a box kind of thing. Or where we've seen other instances of developers that refuse to hire certain people because they're trying to like build a certain demographic of developer. Like, it's more like things have just gotten completely out of control, and now we're starting to see like all this crap take place on social media. And not at any time do I want any developer or any human being, that for that matter, to become disenfranchised with what their dreams and ambitions are. Because, can you imagine like putting all your hard work and determination into something just for somebody to say, like, oh, you're just trying to force your opinions on me? No, I'm not forcing you to do anything. If you don't want to participate in it, you don't have to. Like you said, Mickey, if the game doesn't appeal to you, don't play the game.
Mhm.
But don't also at the same time go on this war path and start talking about how like these individuals are the problem with the world, and that they're destroying the thing you hold dear most and all this other stuff. Um because it's kind of like, for me, like when everybody lost their mind when they found out that Xbox was going to put games on PlayStation. The first tweet you put out there, okay. The second tweet, all right. But by the fifth and the sixth and the 10th tweet, you have freaking lost me. At this point, you have annoyed the piss out of me. You wrecked your own argument because you now are on the warpath, and like you're like that screaming child in the middle of a grocery store. And at that point, you're just like, I'm done. I'm done. I can't do it. Like, it's one thing to share your opinion. It's one thing to share your opinion professionally or respectfully, but it's another thing to just go completely bonkers and say crazy stuff. Like, like when you go and see some of the comments that are like put in these, like, I saw the dude for Hypercharge get tore down for making his game. I've seen the guy for Zao get tore down for his game. I constantly see Xbox get tore down for the stuff they do. Ubisoft. It's like literally a vast majority of the active gamers that are on Twitter. And I'm not like, at least the ones, the vocal minority, it's like all they do is bitch. And I'm being just blunt on that, but also at the same time, I'm being honest. You're like, dude, you have completely destroyed the argument for yourself. At this point, I can't even stand listening to you, and any word that flubs out of your mouth, I'm disconnected from, because you have gone from being respectful and professional to just bitchy, and just, I can't stand it anymore. Nobody is forcing you to play these games. And also, just because a person of color is put into a game doesn't mean that they're forcing any political ideology on you. It just means that somebody wanted to put a person of color in a game. I have a comment on my channel right now that apparently I've been fooled in that there was never an African American samurai.
Hmm.
I like, it's like almost like you want to reach out and be like, does anybody want to tell him? Does anybody want to tell him the truth? Does it, like, I have been fooled. Dude, I watched a 15 to 20 minute YouTube documentary on how samurais worked, and this guy actually went into on how the samurai from Assassin's Creed Shadows really did exist. It's not fake. So it's like, at this point, it, like, when I see that comment, I'm like, well, can't fix stupid. Whatever.
Look at that.
You can't. Like, that's a Ron White joke from back in the day from the Redneck Comedy Tour. Like, can't fix stupid. So,
No, you cannot.
but, you know, and that's where, so not only did we, like, to me, it's more like the only thing I'm trying to get at in this conversation, because this is actually honestly a really difficult conversation to really touch on or even talk about, because it's more like we need to let developers make whatever game they want. If a developer wants to be more inclusive than what you're comfortable with when it comes to race, sexual orientation, or character models, whatever you are not comfortable with, don't play the damn game.
Well,
And let your wallet speak for you, but also at the same time, you need to recognize that as time goes by, we get older and we die, and then the newer generation takes over. Like, cause like we all hate the Fortnites and the games as a service style games. The younger generation tears that shit up. Like, they love them some free to play, Fortnite, Apex Legends, anything free to play. You know, free to play. Could we imagine the concept of free to play gaming back in the 90s or even the early 2000s? Now here we are in 2024. Free to play is a thing, and it's attracted a different style of gamer. And the funny part is, it's also attracted the attention of publishers that realize when you make a free to play game that costs 15 to 20 million dollars, and it can make you a lot of money, versus a AAA experience that you literally throw the dice at the crap table and hope to God you break even, or lightning hits and you got a single player game that everybody can't put down because it's like crack, Skyrim.
That's true.
So that's what I mean. It's like the only thing you can do is, like, I'm going to tell you right now, with all the people see gaming as a completely immature, stupid thing to do, especially for somebody our age. At, like, I'm 38, Mickey's in his 40s. There's other older gamers out there, and it's like, dude, like, I hate it when people ask me, they're like, "Oh, you do film editing and stuff like that." Oh, like, that's great. Like, what do you mean, like, film editing? Like, you do like commercials and stuff like that? It's like, no, I do like video game content on YouTube. Dude, people look at you differently the minute you say video game a lot, because they just see it as like you're some like immature kid that sits down in their mother's basement, when it's like, that's the furthest thing from the truth. I would like to think that there's lots of successful people out there that play video games and that aren't immature. They just,
because they're close-minded.
Dude, it's like some people go and smoke a bag of weed. Some people go to the strip club. Other people go to the bar. Some people go to the casino and gamble. I choose to play video games. Different strokes for different folks. Pure and simple.
True that.
So, at least that was one thing I just wanted to get out of the way. Now let's just kind of cap this thing off real quick, because we got 30 minutes left. We're shorter, but like, so this is one thing I also want to put out there. So, Call of Duty. Call of Duty is getting ready to come to Game Pass. We're probably going to find out here probably this weekend, or this weekend, or at least very shortly after. I'd be shocked if they didn't talk about it this weekend. So Call of Duty is getting set to start having some stuff unfold in Game Pass. We also found out Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is coming to Game Pass, the new Call of Duty game. I still have my debate on that. Like, I'm in the wait and see category on, is that game also going to show up in other subscription services, or is it going to be exclusive to Xbox? I really don't know about that. And I'm not just also limiting PlayStation. I'm not saying it's going to show up in PlayStation, but we also know that Xbox has been trying to spread Call of Duty everywhere. So I'm curious on if Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is only going to be exclusive to Xbox's subscription service, or is it going to pop up in other locations? With that being said, we also discovered that Call of Duty is not going to create a different tier of Game Pass, because everybody talked about, like, we have Game Pass Core, Game Pass Regular, and Game Pass Ultimate. And then they were worried that we were going to have like Game Pass Super Ultimate or Game Pass Super Saiyan. Sorry, a little joke. And that's where we're not going to have
I think they were saying, though, there's not, there's always a possibility of maybe them raising the price, but like you said, there's not going to be another tier, right?
There's not going to be an addition of another tier. There's not. Right now, we've got 3 different tiers of Game Pass. No, they are not creating a 4th for you to have access to Call of Duty games. But that's where, like Mickey just said it, they are not making another tier of Game Pass, but the conversation of potentially raising the price of Game Pass is still on the table, at least from some of the articles that I read. I'm curious on how that's going to happen, because I still remember all the stuff from the FTC trial and the CMA little debacle that Xbox said that they weren't trying to like raise the price of Game Pass. They weren't trying to get a monopoly on subscription services using Call of Duty. I'm just really curious on if they raise the price of Game Pass. I know they have to submit, like, it's kind of like what we deal with out here in Arizona, because we only have the APS Power Company and SRP, and they have a monopoly on delivering electricity to households. And so they go through something called the Arizona Corporation Commission. So anytime these electrical utility providers want to raise the price of electricity, they have to actually submit a request to the Corporation Commission asking permission to raise the price of power. And sometimes the Corporation Commission will actually deny them. Be like, nope. Like like here out in Arizona, without power during the summertime, you could die from heat stroke. The Corporation Commission just came out yesterday on the news and told everybody that if you don't pay your power bill, they're not allowed to turn your power off right now because they don't want people to die. They said,
actually, I think that's been around for a while, though.
Right, but the Corporation Commission is actually starting to actively go on the news and let people know, because they want consumers to know, like, hey, from June to October, we won't turn the power off on you, but at the end of October, if you still owe money for your electric bill, they're allowed to turn it off. So definitely, though, that's where the Corporation Commission has that much power out here. And that's where I'm seeing, at least in my mind, we know the CMA are very actively engaged with what Xbox does with Activision Blizzard, and same with the FTC, but the CMA at least has somebody that floats around that Microsoft has to kind of be like, hey, we're going to raise the price on Game Pass. They got to show a justified reason for raising the price of Game Pass. And it can't just be because, we're going to have Call of Duty in there and it's like the best thing since sliced bread. They actually have to show that there's an economic financial reason rather than FOMO to raise the price. So, but that's where we're this weekend coming up is going to be a big weekend for Xbox, especially with Call of Duty. Like me and Mickey just talked about, 48% of the Call of Duty players right now are still on the PlayStation 4 console. Is Xbox set to really pull an upset and get people to migrate to the Xbox ecosystem, where for $15 a month you can have access to, or excuse me, $18 a month you can have access to Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, the new game, previous Call of Duty, plus a much larger library of games. Like, we're already starting to see stuff come out that the Xbox console is already starting to sell pretty heavily in preparation for Xbox's announcement for Call of Duty. And I really do think that we're going to potentially see some of the fruits of the labor that Xbox has put into acquiring Activision Blizzard possibly give them the leg up over the PlayStation brand. Because right now, I want to at least say that, like, I see all these claims made about PlayStation and Xbox, but really when you look at like on like how well some of their games do on like Metacritic on both brands, they seem pretty neck and neck when it comes to delivering software. And we're just waiting for that one thing that's going to give either console the advantage to be like, no, this is the console you need. And I'm really thinking that Call of Duty is going to be that moment for Xbox to be like, no, this is the home of Call of Duty, especially if you want to not be like spending a fortune on it. I don't know. What do you think, Mickey?
Well, I mean, I think overall it's going to probably bring more people into Call of Duty, because with it being on Game Pass, more people are going to try it out because now they don't have to spend the money on it.
No, I can agree with you on that one, because I remember when Elder Scrolls Online was not in Game Pass, and then it was put in Game Pass, and server, like, at least the server rates on Xbox, like the player counts in the servers, definitely had an uptick for sure.
And I think pretty much that's what's going to happen is I mean, it's, it's a good thing. And then I mean, it's a good thing, I guess, for making more money, because if people play, well, some people are going to play it and probably won't buy it, but some people are probably going to play it, and if they really like it, then it's, they'll go and buy whatever version or whatnot. But I think it's definitely going to increase the amount of people playing it. I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, probably should have happened a long time ago, but I guess better late than never.
It should have happened a long time ago, but I also do think that Xbox probably had a lot of legal red tape that they had to get through before they could just start dropping stuff.
That's true too. Right, that's true too. But I mean, I think it's a good idea. I'm not really, really big into the Call of Duty games, because quite frankly, it just, those guys get so good so fast that you log in and you're dead like almost instantly. So to me, that's not really fun. So
there's nothing more that kicks you in the manhood than having an 8-year-old rock your world like the minute you like spawn into a match.
It's like, true.
Spawn in, fuck, I got you. Oh man,
and I'm not complaining about the game per se. Just I'm not as good. But as far as this goes, I think it's a good idea. I think it's smart. It'll bring more players into it, and I probably won't be one of them, but I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea that they did that. 100%.
Definitely, and we're gonna probably see, like I said, you're gonna be here Sunday, and we're gonna see it all unfold. And definitely, I know we've got more stuff unfolding throughout the week. I do have, let's see here. So thank you, Blue, for always sending me stuff, by the way, man. You are what we like a finial of information when it comes to, yeah, okay.
That's true. Blue is quite the informative dude.
Hmm.
Yes, he is.
So where is it? Where is it? I had something in here. I just feel like a liar. Ah, there it is. There it is. So let's see. We are on June 5th. So Xbox is obviously set up for June 9th. Um, let's kind of like go back here on this one. So we're on June 5th. So tomorrow we have the Gorilla Collective, which is being presented by Gorilla Collective. That looks like it's going to be done at 1 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be like 10 a.m. our time. I'll probably come home and watch that one. And then on June 7th, the day after tomorrow, we'll have Summer Game Fest, which will be presented by Jeff Keighley. That will start at, it says 4:45 Eastern time, so that would be 1:45 our time. I'll come home and watch that. So there's definitely gaming content to consume tomorrow and the next day. And then we get into the 8th. You have a couple different shows coming out. You have the Future Games show. That's done by Games Radar. That's going to be on the 8th. That's 3 p.m. Eastern time. The Future of Play Direct by Hey Glitch. That's going to be 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So there's stuff coming out. And then, June 9th, Xbox Games Showcase and the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct starting at 1 p.m. Eastern time. That will be 10 a.m. our time. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. our time. So, yeah, Mickey, looks like we got something to tune into at 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if you want to be here that early. It's entirely
Yeah,
up to you.
I could probably get over there. That should be fine.
Hey, at least we'll knock it out and it'll be done and you be home before freaking before like oh, that's okay. But
That's
and then June 10th we got the Ubisoft Forward. That's gonna be a good one.
definitely want to see that one. Yeah.
So June 10th, that's again 3 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff that we could watch after we get home from work on all these days. Um so yeah, here we are in the middle of essentially Game Fest, and there's definitely going to be a lot to take in. Um, but there is also some other stuff out there that was talked about that, according to Jeff Keighley, the guy who essentially started Summer Game Fest, kind of like backpacked off of E3, and then as E3 faded away, he really kind of filled that void. Um, And Jeff Keighley also does the video game awards, Mickey, if you didn't know that.
Okay.
He came out and told everybody to kind of pace themselves, that there's not going to be like a lot of drops when it comes to games that people don't know about yet, or get, future games that are coming out that they don't know about yet. He said that at least this year there is going to be a lot of focus on providing more information about games that we already know that are in production. So there is going to be some new game announcements, but it's not going to be as hot and heavy as it has in years past.
That's fair. I mean, that's cool.
I know, Blue EA Showcase unknown. And also there was I think on that list you provided me, there's still not an exact date for the Nintendo Direct either. So definitely there's a lot, like, yeah, it just has question mark Nintendo Direct and it's all question marks. So there's definitely some more stuff that we could really find. Like, it would be nice to hear from EA. Um, so, but hey, here we are. We're all prepared. We're all ready to consume more gaming and celebrate. This is for me, like, this is what gaming should be, is we get hyped for what excites us and we don't waste our time bitching about what we don't want to get involved in. We just
Hmm.
all come together, talk about what excited me, and what I want to sink my money and time into. And I'm always curious to hear about what you want to sink your money and time into. But the last thing that we all want to get into is start to negatively drag people down with your ideology of what gaming should be. Like, I'm one of those types that like I'm one of those types that's like, hey, you know what? Microtransactions ain't going anywhere. Yeah, I wish they would be a little less intrusive and not as greedy, but I understand. I at least can understand their place in the gaming industry, and I'm never going to be
Hmm.
one of these people that are like, all microtransactions need to disappear. Well, you're going to create a vacuum where now, like, some of these guys aren't going to be like, oh well,
A good way to put it too. I
yeah,
agree.
they're not just going to be like, well, all right, I don't need to make those extra profit margins. No, they're just going to hike the price of games and all the other shit that to basically recover that revenue. Microtransactions are a way for developers to not have to essentially try to money hat the consumer. So, but thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Boba Fett, Angel, Vlads, Red, Blue, everybody else that tuned in tonight, Faded Blades, everybody else that comes in on the replay. Me and Mickey were all both very grateful every single time you
Very.
take time
Thank
out
you.
of your lives to click listen to that on the listen button on YouTube. And like, this is actually becoming fun, especially I love chatting with the comments section here on this channel. Just because you don't send me super chats, or you're not like a paid subscriber of my channel or a Patreon, I don't have any of that shit. I am here to just have a conversation about gaming, and we're all supposed to have fun, which is why I take the time to try to read my chats, no matter how chaotic they get. And like, I really wish I had the problem of some of these other channels where they have 1,000 live listeners, and the chat's going 100 miles an hour. But I do try to interact with everybody that tries to interact with us. Um, so thank you, Mickey, once again for joining me here Wednesday night. Um, got anything to say to anybody before we leave?
Just thank you everybody for tuning in. You guys could be doing something else, and you guys tuned in and to listen to us, and we are extremely grateful. I don't think you guys understand how grateful we are, but we truly are grateful for you. Listening to my baloney,
Yeah,
and
well, right. We all have our
and
baloney.
just chilling with us. It's cool. We enjoy it, and we're very grateful for you guys. So thank you so much.
Yeah, because we had like 90 people come listen, like hear the sound of our practically 90 people come listen to the sound of our voice tonight. Um, so right now the numbers are at least doing great. Please like, subscribe if you guys feel compelled to. We're here every Wednesday night. We try to stay
Yes,
level headed on
please.
all that
It'll
stuff.
help us too. Yeah.
And
So thank you.
I'm Phil Centurion 1307. We're gonna get content rolling around on this channel here real quick. I'm actually buying. I'm trying to convince my wife to let me buy some equipment because I'm wanting to try to do a little different form of content that I'm wanting to definitely kind of branch off and do gaming content, but I'm not wanting to do like the same old stuff that everybody does. I do want to have some stuff that stands out, and for that, I'm hoping to get a hold of some equipment to kind of get me on the road. So maybe we can go visit some of the retro game stores that I shop and talk about and kind of do some interviews with individuals that keep gaming going by fixing some of the older consoles and making sure that the history of gaming is kept alive. And thank you everybody for always tuning in. And until next time, just play the games you want wherever you want, no matter what anybody says. That same old little saying that we got floating around here.
Yep.
Yeah,
Have
thank
fun.
you, Arnie. Yeah, thank you. Definitely appreciate you also being here too, Arnie. So everybody, you have yourself a good night.
Later.